Welcome to An Open Book with Harry Pacheco, where our guests choose to be an open book, sharing real impactful stories that are making a difference. Welcome to the show. Welcome to An Open Book by Harry Pacheco, with Harry Pacheco. Today we are blessed. We have a really special guest today. We call him, as you know, Mr. Murfreesboro, but his government name is Bill Wilson. Welcome to the show, Bill.
Thank you.
Oh, wait,
thank
Mr.
you.
Mr. Murfreesboro.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to telling some stories.
Well, first of all, here's what we like to do. We want you to go ahead and tell us your story. Tell us what you're all about, and tell us about your story, how everything ended up and how you are Mr. Murfreesboro.
Well, people ask me that all the time, and I have to go back to there's an original Mr. Murfreesboro, and thank you for that question. And his name was Tommy Martin. And he has two grandsons that I know personally. Hunter McFarland is one, and Dr. Bryn Martin, who I think is the head of the history department at MTSU. We all grew up together, me and Tommy Martin's grandsons and other grandchildren. So Tommy Martin was a local businessman who lived in Murfreesboro. He died in the early 2000s, and he was about 5'7", 5'8". He probably weighed about 300 pounds. He was when he walked kind of like this, but whenever you ran into Tommy, he would say, has anybody told you if anybody hadn't told you today, I love you and Jesus loves you, or something to that effect. He was the ambassador of goodwill. But he was one of the businessmen that helped bring State Farm here. GE, which was on Broad Street, and was one of the biggest employers back up until the early 2000s. Chromalox, Nissan. I always kid people, say, well, we can blame him for all the traffic problems today. Not kidding. But he was the ambassador of goodwill, and anytime you saw him, he always was smiling. He was old school, so if it was your birthday, he would do a handwritten note wishing you a happy birthday. If he had something come out in the paper, he'd laminate it, send it to you in the mail. Very personal. And I think that's what we've gotten away from in today's world. So that was the original Mr. Murfreesboro. Now, my grandfather, whose name was Bill Wilson, was a sheriff here back in the 50s, the 60s, and then he was a road superintendent in the 70s. And then Dad was the chairman of the county commission in the 70s and early 80s.
Wow. So
So I personally grew up in the workhouse, the workhouse, the jail, and the courthouse, and try to stay out of the workhouse and the jail. But that's one. People say, well, how are you Mr. Murfreesboro? It got started in March of 2015, so it's been a little over 10 years ago. I had this idea of I like to rekindle that spirit of Mr. Murfreesboro, a Facebook Mr. Murfreesboro. So I took Hunter, we went to lunch it was B. McNeil's at the time, and I paid for lunch. And I said, Hunter, I'm thinking about doing a page called Mr. Murfreesboro, but out of respect to you and Mr. Martin, and my grandfather and Tommy were good friends. I meant to say that. I said, before I start this page, I want to make sure it's okay with the family. I said, what do you think he would think? He said, man, I think it'd be great. So that's where it started. Now, in those 10 years, I've had a radio show, a podcast. I do a thing called the Mr. Murfreesboro Minute and the Murfreesboro Pulse. I tell stories. We all have a story to tell, and you want to hear my story. And I grew up here. I was educated here, born at the old Rutherford Hospital. We'll be 60 in March 2nd, put that on your calendar. I do take Venmo. But schooled here, I went to every school in Rutherford County except for Daniel McKee, it seems like. I went to the Methodist Church kindergarten, campus school from 1st to 6th, 7th grade at Central Middle, which is Central Magnet now, 8th grade at Middle Tennessee Christian School. They asked me not to come back. And then I went to Riverdale my 9th grade year. In the summer of my freshman and sophomore year, I had to go to Holloway, not because of behavioral things. I just didn't like English at the time, and I didn't do too well. That's kind of bad being English and not doing good in English, right? So you can say, and I went to Riverdale, graduated there in '84, and then went to MTSU. Was there for 8 years.
Wow.
Should be a doctor. The movie Van Wilder was about me. I knew all the deans for the wrong reasons, and that was during my drinking days. I'm in recovery. It's been 34 years this past couple of weeks that I've had a drink of alcohol. Now,
Oh, congratulations.
thank you. And I haven't been sober the whole time. I've been dry. There's been 4 marriages and divorces in between there. I've got because of God's grace and mercy, find it for me to live today, because I should have been rotten and forgotten a long time ago for many reasons. Car accidents, bullets flying by, different things like that. But I have a 25-year-old son who's doing well. He graduated from middle in 4 years. And,
Wow.
but my roots go deep here. I've got people buried at Evergreen Farms. I mean, Evergreen Farms is subdivision. Evergreen Cemetery that date back being born in the 1850s. But there's people here that go back way further than my family. But Middle Tennessee, go back, to the 1760s or so. But I've always loved Murfreesboro. I grew up here, went to school here, worked here. Still work here as a realtor for the last 25 years.
Wow.
I'm a big history buff. I love hearing stories and telling stories. Everybody's got a story, whether you live in the poorhouse, the penthouse, or the White House.
I like that.
And usually, if we go out here right now, and there's homeless people here in Rutherford County. I used to sit on a board called Team to Tots. Brian Hargrove had started that several years ago. And Meredith, my partner, we sat on that board for a year or two. But people don't realize there's about 2,500, and this was 5-6 years ago, there's 2,500 to 3,500 homeless children. Think about that here in Murfreesboro. I don't know if it's Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. I'm going to say it's probably Murfreesboro, but that doesn't mean the children are living on the streets. That means they're out here living at Regal Inn. They're couch surfing. It's not their fault that mom or dad have lost their job, made bad decisions. But my whole point about the homeless population is that a lot of people, there's a thing called mental illness. People don't treat mental illness like you do if you had cancer. If somebody has cancer, there's compassion.
Right.
But with mental illness, with somebody with addiction, alcoholism, any type of mental illness, it's like frowned on.
Yeah.
It's more accepted today. But back in the day, alcoholics, I'm saying in the 30s, 40s, the way they treated them, sometimes they would do lobotomies, just cut a piece of their brain out and put them in a padded cell. But thank God that that's not the case today. But people are homeless. It could be they've gone through a divorce, they have a health problem, can't work anymore, a whole array of things. But I don't know why I got on that tangent, but it's something we pass. I mean, go out here every day and you see it. So,
Bill, I've been meaning to ask you this question. So, I love your story, by the way. There's a lot of history there with you and your family, and you're kind of like a staple to this city. How did you overcome the drinking 35 years ago?
Well, 34 years.
34 years ago.
Don't get ahead of yourself. I'm just kidding. Well, I'll tell you what, September 21st, 1991, and I'd been drinking. Believe it or not, that's what alcoholics do if you're not sober. But part of that process of getting sober, there had to be a process of the drunkenness and all that stuff. I've always had a good heart. My heart, anybody that knows me, even people who may not like me, know they have a good heart.
Yeah.
sometimes it's between my ears that I have the problem. So I'll say this: the judge didn't. I never did anything really bad
Yeah.
during my drinking. A judge didn't sober me up. A woman's affection didn't sober me up. Family's money didn't sober me up. Puking blood helped sober me up. I had gone, tried to get help through treatment centers, and there's the rooms. There's friends of Bill W. I got to watch that because of traditions. But I am 6'4". I got down to 122 pounds, and I woke up at my parents' house, and I got deathly ill. I was sick, throwing up. I got so sick that there was like some blood coming up. And I had this white light experience. And I believe it to be God. And the voice was saying, Bill, you're dying. You've got to quit. You can't do this anymore. Now, from that day on, that compulsion to drink was removed. I'd been in a blackout. And I was still, when I was out there drinking, sometimes I wouldn't shower for a day or two. I would sleep in my clothes. I'd pass out in the car, pass out in the front lawn. But I reached down into my pocket while still out of it, and I pulled out these 2 tickets. One was a speeding ticket going 60 and a 40-something. I got pulled over at Bill's Carpet Mart, which is between Murfreesboro and Smyrna. I was coming back this way, and then I had an open beer container. Why didn't I go to jail? I don't know. I believe that the Holy Spirit was driving me. How many times did the Holy Spirit get me home without causing harm to myself or anybody else? So it's a spiritual malady. It's a thing that I don't have the power. People used to say, Bill, why don't you have the willpower to quit drinking? I said, well, have you ever had a case of diarrhea and tried to stop? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny, but you can't do it.
Yeah.
And it just so happens I could do anything else that anybody, I just can't, and choose not to. I drink or do drugs. So but thank God for God's grace and mercy. I'll tell you what, and friends who have helped. I've got millions of friends around the world.
Yeah. If you had to give advice to somebody that's currently in your shoes right now, that's struggling with drugs or alcohol, what would it be?
Well, I would get help. One, recognize that you do need help. I hear people always saying, well, that, you have to get honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to be open-minded, and you've got to be willing, because you've got to change, or you're going to end up dying.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out here. I know for me, when I accepted that I was an alcoholic, and I don't know when I crossed that threshold, but I know I'm a better person without that alcohol and other things. But that was just a symptom of my disease. The drinking was just a symptom.
Yeah. Because
if you're an alcoholic like me,
yeah,
I used to wake up and I'd say, well, I'm not much, but that's all I ever think about. Selfish, self-centered, self-seeking motives. Hedonistic, always seeking pleasure. If I'm going to feel, don't want to feel at all. And I came from a good family. I mean, a loving family, grew up in the church, educated, always loved, always cared for. But I always kind of wanted to be at the center of attention.
Yeah.
And, but to answer your question, I would say seek help.
Yeah.
Seek help, because, I mean, it's changed my life. And grace and mercy.
Yeah.
But we have to suit up and show up and then do some work.
Yeah. So right now, even with this show and me interviewing you, you're giving so many people hope, because they see how much you have done when you decided to quit.
Yeah.
Good
stuff. And some.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect.
Yeah. So after so we're talking 34 years ago, what career path did you choose to take from there?
Well,
after college?
good question. And I wanted to say this on Facebook. I put on there, I'm just letting everybody know that it's been 34 years since my last drink. And somebody goes on there and goes, he's still on meds. He's still great. I just thought that was
Oh,
funny.
really? Like on the comments?
Yes.
You're going to hear all kinds of stuff.
I know. I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
I graduated with a political science degree from MTSU. Let's see, I started in 84, graduated in 92.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recommend that. That's going through summer school too. You can look at my transcripts. I think I attempted 400 and something hours.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to have like 230 to grade. I could have gotten a master's degree, but had a minor in history and a minor in PE. I went to work for a security company back in the early 90s. The security systems were hot. Everybody was getting a security system, home security system.
Like ADS or like
no,
Vector?
I worked for ADT, All
Okay.
Day Trotters, American District Telegraph.
Nice.
It was founded in 1874. And the way your first alarm system happened with ADT, they had 12, 13, 14-year-old boys called All Day Trotters, ADT. Mm-hmm. And when there was an alarm there was an alarm going off at the bank, it would come into the ADT telegraph office.
Yeah.
He'd get on his bike and ride over to the police station. Hey, there's a break-in going in or a robbery. So that's how your first alarm system.
Wow.
But ADT was really good to me, and I probably could have stayed there and moved up the ranks. I was in sales, but I just got tired of being a company man and sold a lot of alarm systems, traveled Middle Tennessee. I covered like 40-something counties in Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, Northern Alabama. So I'm one of the few people, if I get off the beaten path, I can probably get you back around to where you need to be. I know the area.
You seem to me you seem like a great salesperson. Is that how you transitioned to? When did you find out like, hey, real estate's my thing?
I hate to give this guy credit, but I'm going to. Okay. No, he's really a good person. John Jones had been on to me about becoming a realtor. This was like 99.
Wait, just to clarify, you're not talking about John Jones, the UFC heavyweight
champion.
No,
not John. Spells his name Jon.
Right.
But John Jones, who's known as Jughead.
Okay.
Love you, John. But I became a buyer's agent when he'd had his John Jones real estate team at Caldwell Banker, Snow and Wall. He just started in the last year or so, and I was one of his first. I wasn't his first buyer's agent, but it was me, Lynn Harris, Scott Abernathy. There were several, and Michelle Buford was there. Budford, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. But he says, "Why don't you come to work for me?" And I quit ADT, and I had a good nest egg. When I left there, I'd worked there from 92 to 99. I had somewhere close to $250,000, $260,000 that I had saved up and had in the bank. And I didn't really have to work for a while. I can remember John coming into the office. I've been there like 4 or 5 months. He goes, "Bill, you're going to have to, if you don't sell something," he knew I was a good salesman. He goes, you're going to have to do something else. I mean, he was like threatening to get rid of me. And it just kind of took off from there. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it for 25 years.
So you're good at it. Obviously,
I'll be 60 in March, and I'm not as the get up and go sometimes as got up and went. I just love people. I mean, I love, hand me a bullhorn and I'll, we all have a story to tell. And it goes back, I think of James 1. We all have problems with, I think I said this earlier, finances, romances, relationships, and health. Any three of those things get online, I don't care if you're an alcoholic or just a normal earthling. Yeah. People have issues. Yeah. Because think of COVID that we had. And what was that, 5 years ago? Yeah. Actually, it's been longer than that. No, 5 years ago. COVID didn't care if you were a conservative, a liberal, if you were black or white, man or woman. I knew 7 or 8 people that died personally when all that went down. we're not going to get on politics,
Yeah.
but every human wants that need to love somebody or love and to receive love.
Absolutely.
So, and then I have a fear. I have a fear of abandonment, a fear of rejection, and I think down deep, everybody does
Yeah.
in some capacity.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've answered that question. I'm just
Yeah, you did. So John Jones was kind of your mentor that took you under his
he
wing.
did. He helped get me started. Sure
Yeah.
did. People like him and
Yeah.
John Floyd and
Did
Howard
you end
Robb.
up now? Did you end up fast forward? Did you end up working really hard and opening your own real estate company?
I had my own. No, I didn't do that. John did that, but I left John and had a team at Purdue. I've been. They call me the frog because I hop around so much.
Yeah.
But when I left John, I was a buyer's agent, got that
Yeah.
down pretty well, and then I went to work at Prudential Rolling Real Estate.
I worked at Prudential.
This is back in the day, man.
Yeah.
And I had like 3 or 4 builders. I think my best year was 2005. I sold like 100 houses and
Wow.
did like 25.
I'm sorry. What? You
Like-
sold 100 houses
Well,
in
I
one
had
year?
a team too.
Oh,
No, that was with Keller Williams, but I had several builders.
what would you rank at? Because in our when I was in California,
MTAR, I was like number 5 or 6 in the whole thing.
no. Are you diamond? Were you diamond or
Man,
were you platinum?
I've never been one to keep up with all this. That's terrible. There's no how much money I've left on the table, but
Yeah.
it's not about me. It's about serving others.
Yeah.
But I helped Keller Williams get started. That was 2000.
The Keller Williams.
KW. I was
Wow.
on their ALC, the Leadership Council, and then I helped Intero get started. Then I went back to John after a while. We got back together.
Yeah. These are all household. These are all household names.
Yeah, and I'm probably leaving somebody out. And now I'm at Parks, which is now Compass.
Okay. That's
Parks
currently
got
where
bought
you're
by
at now.
Compass. Yeah, I'm at Compass.
How long have you been at Compass?
Well, you have to consider that was okay. At least going on 2 years, I guess. But
2
before
years.
that was Parks, and I've been with Parks, Compass for about 8 years, I think, and
now
maybe
these
more.
these are easy. Are they? Are you when you say you're hopping around? Are they recruiting you, or you're just choosing to go?
I've
with
not
them?
been forced to go anywhere.
Okay.
Is that what you're trying to, like a disciplinary
No,
board?
no, I'm saying
I told
like-
you I got sober, man.
No, like how?
What the?
Like, are you choosing?
Is this the camera we're on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we?
Harry. Hara.
Are,
Hari, I'm sorry.
are,
Where'd you get
are-
that tattoo, dude? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Are we choosing to? Are you
Better
choosing
myself?
Well, choosing to go to these real estate offices, or are they recruiting you, saying,
Well, but you think about it. It's a backstabbing. There's a thing now where you have to have a buyer's agency agreement signed. I never did that. Trent can tell you about that. I mean, there's people in the you got to have a buyer's rep because the buyers are more educated these days. They have the
No,
they have the
absolutely. They have the
computer.
internet.
They have the internet. They got Facebook. They got all.
they got Redfin, they have Zillow,
And the realtor's been taking away my job. It's not a job. I love what I do. We're dealing with people, which can be emotional, but it's making it hard. There was a lawsuit. I don't know how the lawsuit. I don't know all about it, but the commission now you have to get a buyer's rep agreement to make
Yeah.
sure the realtor gets paid.
Yeah.
If the seller's not paying it, we don't work for free. I got some great stories about some real estate stories, but
No,
they just-
absolutely, and it should be on the MLS saying what it's stating
It's
for
changed
the
so
buyer.
much. I mean, when 2007 to 8, when it all went down, there was a lot of realtors. I mean, a lot of them got out of the business. A lot of them never came back. I mean, I think right now we may have 2,500 to 3,000 at MTAR, and I may be off.
Yeah.
Probably am. But when I started in 2000, the interest rate was like hovering between 8 and 9, and there may have been 1,000. Maybe not even like maybe 900 agents. So
Yeah.
it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
But we're in the service business of help serving others. I mean, helping buyers and sellers.
I think that's what I have this little spot in my heart. Well, not a spot, a big spot in my heart of realtors and real estate is because my mom broker and she owned a company called Realty World, which is huge in the Bay Area.
Where is that, in San Francisco? Or?
Yes, exactly.
Is that where you're from?
Yeah, San Francisco, Oakland, and Fremont area, and
Got
San
it.
Jose.
That's where you grew up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are all of the cities that were kind of where her stomping grounds were. We were passing out pumpkins and putting her business cards. Like farming was crazy for us as kids. But I seen how much successful she got. She was labeled Mrs. Oakland because she sold
She started a
half of
Facebook
Oakland.
page.
She sold half of Oakland, and
Do you still have your mom? You still?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, she retired, but I seen what happened in 2007, 2008, of that when it just turned everything was
bottom
just a
fell
mess.
out.
Yep. So that was her turning point to be like, well, I'm just gonna retire.
And it may be different. The good thing about Murfreesboro, Middle Tennessee, if you call U-Haul right now, the number one destination for the trucks being rented out is Middle Tennessee in North America.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of cushioned here with Nashville. Whenever there's a recession,
Yeah.
we're the last to go through it.
Yeah.
Because of our job situation. We got great schools, but it's
Yeah.
really jobs. And we're usually the first to come out of it.
I didn't
The
know
economy.
that.
I mean, 2006, 2007, you could pull up 100 listings and then 70 of them would be short sales or foreclosures.
Yeah.
You couldn't give houses away.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Thank God we never want to go back to that. And I don't think we will.
Yeah.
But my mother, she's 91, and she lives on the last nearly 2 acres of her grandfather's. It was nearly an 800-acre farm on Bradeville Road. That's something you don't see anymore. That's something I would like to see Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
To see. I'm all progressive. I think we'd rather be progressive than regressive. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Businesses are good.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see some green spaces. I know the city's fixing up the splash park down here.
Yeah.
The Towns Creek, there's a name for it. It's Towns Creek Splash Park.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a good thing.
Yeah. And the Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's, man.
That's going to be
Those managers
huge.
make like $200,000 or $300,000 a year. I've already got my application in.
No, I seen what
They work 120 hours a week.
I seen how they pay their employees, and I'm like, what?
I got to go to my first. Meredith and I went to a Notre Dame, Texas A&M game about a month ago. Whenever they played, and on the way back, I'd never been to a Buc-ee's, so we stopped in Richmond, Kentucky, somewhere in Kentucky.
That
Went
beef
in.
jerky's
I was
good.
like, oh my Lord,
it's a fair.
it's yeah, it is. It's like the only thing missing are like a casino. The ding 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 ding. What do we call that? The penny slots.
Yeah, it's huge. I don't care what time I go there. It's always like
And
that.
they're stacking sandwiches. They stack those beef brisket sandwiches and stack money. That's what they're doing. Mr. Bucky. But yeah, that'll be going here in the next year or so.
Mr. Murfreesboro. So we tackled your real estate side of things, but you wear plenty of hats. What is you getting into having a talk show, radio show? Also, you have something on the Pulse.
Yeah.
That you do. Is it every week?
Every month.
Every month.
This month is about recovery, a life of redemption, the adventures of Joe Gates, who you need to have on the show. His story's a lot better than mine.
Yeah.
But the Pulse,
How'd you get into that? Can you
there's a guy
share that?
named Bracken Mayo. I think he's the publisher.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. And I'm not much of a writer. Again, I'm a storyteller.
Yeah.
And we just got to talk, and I said, "What cool to have like a Dear Abby, but a Dear Mr. Murfreesboro."
Yeah.
And
Remember that.
my first story
Yeah.
was called Muff the Mountain Lion.
Yeah.
Muff the Mountain Lion. It's a true story.
Yeah.
LeBeau Chateau Apartments over here by MTSU. Everybody, if you're from Murfreesboro, you know what I'm talking about. It's not LeBeau Chateau anymore.
Yeah.
When I was a kid growing up, this is back in the 70s, my brother Mitch had a friend of his, Billy Joe Adcock, rest in peace. He died this year. He had a pet mountain lion named Muff.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to go with my brothers, and we'd go out there and watch them feed that mountain lion a mile from my parents' house.
Yeah.
Out Breville Pike. The chickens were dead. They weren't live chickens. They throw featherless chickens like you buy at Junior's, and the mountain lion to attack. He's like, "Ee!"
Yeah.
But I didn't know this. Billy Joe, before he passed, I interviewed him.
Mm-hmm.
He lived at LeBeau Chateau one time. Okay, this mountain lion weighed about 135 pounds. Okay, he worked in Nashville at the time. And that mountain lion had a cage in his apartment.
Yeah.
Well, he gets a call from the landlord saying, "Hey, get back here." They didn't know the mountain lion was there. I don't know if the mountain they knew or didn't know, but there was a guy over there like doing cable or working on Century, and it attacked.
Yeah.
The mountain lion got out and attacked. Muff attacked this worker.
Yeah.
And it was a big do. Billy Joe says the guy was about ready to sue him, for damages and stuff.
Yeah.
But what happened? This is brilliant. The guy that got attacked, his grandchildren, they found out it was a mountain lion, and they got to go out. Billy Joe invited them out to show that out to his where he kept it, where it should have been out Breville Pike in a big cage like the size of this room.
Wow.
He got to introduce the kids, and they fell in love with Muff the mountain lion, and there was no lawsuit. So that was
Oh, that was cool.
thank God for grandkids, right?
So was that the first story you pitched then?
That was the first story that I did about nearly 3 years ago.
Okay.
But you can go online and see that too. I've interviewed all sorts of people. People, Mount Everest,
Yeah.
Grammy Award winners, entertainers, professional athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the most interesting people that you interviewed?
David Jones he lives here. His family owned Jones Car Wash, Mrs. Jones and Elizabeth Jones, Buck Jones. But David's an avid runner. You have him right here.
Yeah.
About a year or so ago, he decided.
Maybe you can help us facilitate that.
I will get you. Yeah, I will. But David,
You're Mr. Murfreesboro.
is an avid runner. He goes out when he runs. I mean, for him to run 20, 25 miles. He's run so much that his wife, Pally, he had Pally remove all of his toenails.
What?
Yeah.
He has no
there's the
toenails?
Great Western States where he does the where they run and then they bike for so many miles and swim. But he's a big runner.
triathlon.
He decided to go to Mount Everest, okay? And he had a friend who was a doctor, a friend of his. He met another guy out of Washington. They met in Nepal.
Yeah.
And it took, when you fly in there, you're flying into the mountains, okay? And we're not talking about Short Mountain in Woodbury. We're talking about 25,000 feet. So they fly into Nepal, and it took 4 to 6 weeks to acclimate their lungs to the altitude. 'Cause you have to get oxygen. He made it up to the first rest place.
Yeah.
It was 20,000 feet.
Yeah.
And they've got all these glaciers and ice. And they got these guys called Sherpas.
Yeah.
And they're trained. Well, that's where they're from. They know all about mountain climbing and all that.
Yeah.
How to survive.
Yeah.
But I said, David, tell me the scariest moment. He goes, well, man, I was about 15,000 feet. And he thought there wasn't going to be any climbing.
Yeah.
What do? You're powerless, man. You're up on the side of Mount Everest.
Yeah.
and he's climbing. He looks over to his side, and there's a 15,000-foot drop.
Whoa.
I said, well, didn't you train for that? My point is, there's things in life we don't train for. Right?
Yeah.
They happen. Long story short, he went to the base camp. He didn't go all the way to the top, but still 20 feet in the Himalayas. They make it back to Nepal. They're sitting there drinking. For some reason, they drink a lot of tea over there.
Yeah.
They're sitting there having some warm tea, and all of a sudden, this hut starts shaking. It was an earthquake. I mean, he went from climbing up, next thing he knows, in an earthquake. But I don't want to tell too much because the doctor who he befriended, they became friends because of this expedition or this adventure.
Yeah.
He died over there.
Wow.
Trying to go to the top.
Yeah.
But I'll let him explain. I don't want to steal all of his thunder, but another good one. Have you ever heard of the song? Do you know Byron Chambers?
No.
Mr. Talkbox. He lives here. 24K by Bruno Mars. The very beginning of that. Wah, wah.
Yeah.
Mr. Talkbox, he won a Grammy for that.
That was his sample.
Yeah, and that'd make you a good guess, but he's toured with Bruno. He's with Justin Timberlake. I mean, he's got some great stories. But I mean, I've interviewed people. I've interviewed people who have murdered people. I interviewed a gentleman who murdered my friend's father. This happened in Murfreesboro back in the 80s when Mr. Robinson got murdered by a guy named Ron Hammer. Ron Hammer goes to prison. He's there for like 20-something years. The Holy Spirit comes over him, and he starts writing letters to Mr. Robinson's son, Philip, who's a pastor at New Vision, and Philip's mom. And he's asking for forgiveness. The Holy Spirit's like, you need to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
So he starts writing letters, and Philip and his mom go to the prison and forgive him for killing his father and his dad.
Wow.
He gets out of prison. They write a book called Forgiveness in the First Degree.
Wow.
And you need to read it. And if you haven't read it, I'll get you a copy. He would be a good guest. I mean, it's unreal because you think about it. If somebody murdered a loved one, your father or whoever,
To forgive them is huge.
and when Ron comes back, they've been known to go to church and they tell their story on the same stage.
Wow.
And they're both avid runners. I'm not saying they talk every day, but they are friends.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Wow.
That's a Holy Spirit thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's I love
Mr.
hearing
Murfreesboro,
stories.
I've been doing a lot of research about you,
Oh Lord.
and so I followed you and did some digging and follow you on, is it Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook, Instagram.
You're constantly on the move. I feel like you're always taking pictures with someone, doing something that's going on in Murfreesboro. Now, is that something that you always did, or is that something how far back does that go?
Well, since I've been on Facebook, was it 2008? That's probably 15 years or so. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, I had a pen pal
Yeah.
where we wrote a letter to somebody.
Yeah.
And then maybe 30, 60 days later, I got a letter back. Oh, I got a friend in Montana. I'll never meet him.
Yeah.
But we converse. See, that's something that we've missed out on,
Yeah.
like we're doing here today, is face to face.
Yeah.
It's all this. It's all clicks.
Yeah.
Click, click, click. And likes and all that stuff. But I've always been pretty outgoing. I've never been shy
Yeah.
of words.
Yeah.
I was the kid that would bring friends home with me and
Yeah.
not even tell my mom. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
so my grandfather, he was a politician. And when I was a kid, I'd knock on doors saying, please vote for my dad, vote for my granddad. My grandfather Wilson used to say, kill people with kindness.
Yeah.
And that's what Jesus wants us to do, is to,
Absolutely.
I don't, turn the other cheek, but we never know. You never know when it might be you, whether downtrodden or
Yeah.
this too shall pass.
Yeah.
There's been times in my life I didn't know where the next meal was coming from.
Yeah.
There's been times where I never worried about money because there was plenty of it.
Yeah.
But I've been to both extremes. And if you're going through a hard time right now, this too shall pass. It may feel like a kidney stone. It's very painful. I've had a kidney stone. Until you pass it,
Yeah.
there is relief on
It's
the
a
way.
good illustration. Yeah.
There's pain, suffering, and it may take 2 or 3 days, but there is relief, right?
Yeah.
It's something that we're all human.
Yeah.
We're all mortal.
Yeah.
Elvis used to say, if you cut me, man, I'm going to bleed,
Yeah.
right? So I saw Elvis in concert in 1975. I was 9 years old. He didn't give me a scarf, but you're too young. You don't remember that. You were going to ask me why I love Murfreesboro.
Yeah. So this is from the people calling you Mr. Murfreesboro. They know you as Mr. Murfreesboro. You could ask anybody and be like, "Oh, that's Mr. Murfreesboro." It's kind of like it's branded in who you are.
Which is can be a good thing, but when you get a call at 9 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and it's somebody out of Laverne, they're going, "Hey, Mr. Murfreesboro, there's a fire out here. Can you tell me what's going on here?" I said, "Hey, man, I'm Mr. Murfreesboro. I don't know what's going on in Laverne." No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You've got to put time in. You get out what you put into it. If there's community events, I try to go to
Are you invited to those things, or do you make it?
Do I just show up?
Yeah.
Am I scoping the place?
Yeah.
Most of the time, I am invited.
Yeah.
To different things, and go to the Saturday morning farmers market. You'll meet all sorts of people,
Yeah.
all types of people,
Yeah.
and that's what we need more of right now. Is
Yeah.
that unconditional love?
In high school, were you like the popular guy?
Guess what my nickname was in high school? When I was in elementary school, it was Toothpick.
Yeah.
Because I was so skinny,
Yeah.
very ugly. I was the ugly duckling, buck teeth. And then in high school, because of my energy, I have a lot of energy, they call me Spaz.
Yeah.
There was a movie called Meatballs.
Yeah.
There's a character in there called Spaz. Glasses,
Yeah.
Band-Aid
yeah,
around
yeah, yeah.
here. I was a nerd. I loved history.
Yeah.
Scared of the girls, or like, oh, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
I gotta say the right thing. Gotta do the right thing. Okay.
Yeah.
She's looking at me. I've made up for that, but yeah, man, I'm a middle child. If you're a middle child, you tend to want to get attention. When I was growing up, my brothers told me that sometimes they'd find me a mile down the road in somebody's garage. I'm like, well, how did I get there?
Yeah.
Were y'all not watching me? Do you not love me?
Yeah.
Why am I in somebody's garage or in somebody's field?
Yeah.
Maybe there's too much information, but we all have that fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. And maybe that's why I tend to have a problem sometimes of holding on to things and letting go of others.
Yeah. Do you have any other business ventures besides real estate that you do, even besides the
Mr.
column, besides the Pulse? Is there something that we don't know about that you do?
Man, I'm just the ambassador of goodwill. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm have been a caretaker, or one of the caretakers for my mom. If you've never been one,
Yeah.
I encourage you to do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a labor. It's nothing I'm doing. It's the good Lord working through me, just like the good Lord works through you and everybody. I believe that. But mother is a labor of love. Your rewards are in heaven.
Yeah. No,
But
absolutely.
I don't have any other really business.
Yeah.
I have baseball cards.
Yeah.
I love going to the Ramada Inn down here to the baseball card show. Jay Deaton, John McGill put on.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's where Elvis stayed when he came to Murfreesboro.
Oh.
Stayed at the Ramada Inn. But some of the facts dealing with Murfreesboro, people don't realize that Elvis used to record here. Jimmy Buffett used to record here out Salem Highway at the Boxwood home.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix used to play here.
Yeah.
Judy Garland's family's from here. Dorothy from Wizard of Oz
Wow.
lived right up the road on Manchester Highway. The Gum community. Her father was Frank Gum. And
Gosh, you got history. You got plenty.
General MacArthur's wife,
Yeah.
Jean Faircloth, was from Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one that I bet you didn't know. Hail to the Chief. Think about that. It's a song.
Yeah.
For who? The president. Do you know where that got started?
No.
Murfreesboro.
Really?
Sarah Childress, who was from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, met James K. Polk, who would be our 7th president.
Yeah.
And he was a short fella. She thought it was derogatory when he was speaking. When the president's talking, you want to be quiet, right? Out of respect.
Yeah.
Well, they go to these functions. They'd walk in. Everybody's talking, raising. It's a party. She goes, we need to come up with a song that when the president enters, and remember, he's a short fella,
Yeah.
that when he enters, that song play that knows that's your key to be quiet and pay respect to the president. That started, she got that going
Wow.
because of James K. Polk being a short fella. Hail to the chief.
Yeah. Now you have all this knowledge, right, of the history of Murfreesboro. Is that something that you seeked and studied out, or is that something that you just met so many people that you hear all these stories?
Oh, I tell you, man, there's more people that know more history than myself. Bill Jakes is one.
Yeah.
Carol Robertson White, Pettis Reed. I used to sit on the board for the Historical Society. I think that's a great thing. If you like history, you need to go check it out. They meet on Saturday mornings at the old Ransom School, and you can be a member for $25 a year and get on a mailer. I've just always loved. Tell me your question again.
I'm saying, so all these.
Did I study it?
Yeah, like because of all this knowledge that you have, it feels like you have it in your back pocket. So
It started at a young age. I used to go with my father to auctions.
Yeah.
I've got the original newspaper of the Battle of Murfreesboro, January 1st, 1863. People don't realize that the Battle of Stones River, if you're from the north, if you're from the south, it was the Battle of Murfreesboro. The south used cities, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The north would use rivers, mountain ranges, stuff like Chickamauga.
Yeah.
But it was the 7th bloodiest battle of the Civil War.
Yeah.
There was over nearly 25,000 casualties.
Yeah.
It was a 2-day event. December 31st of 62, they fought. The 1st of January of 63, they rested. January 2nd of 63, the Union, with all their cannon lined up at McFadden Ford, which is out right across from the Shell Station on Broad Street, right past GE. There's a sign that goes back there. If you go to the very back of that Van Cleve Lane,
Yeah.
there was 50 cannon lined up facing Stones River Country Club. If you ever been to the Country Club, behind the club there's a driving range, and there's still indentions in the earth where cannon were lined up. Harker's brigade tried to come across the river there, and it got to a point where there's a lot of cannon fire going back and forth. Jim Lewis would be an ideal person to have on because he's the park ranger over there at Battlefield. But it was that original newspaper I've got that Dad bought at an auction here in Murfreesboro. It talks about who won the day of the battle. It talks about slaves running away. It talks about horse thieves. It talks about reward for this. I gave it to the Battlefield, and they made a copy of it. So there's a copy at the Battlefield.
Wow.
Stuff like that. It's history. you talk about stuff today, people have that fear, oh, we're headed for a civil war. I don't think that we are. I think that everything's gonna work out.
Yeah.
But I'm optimistic. But
Yeah.
we need to remember our history
Yeah.
and tend not to repeat the bad stuff.
So you mentioned that you're just an all around guy, but at the end of the day, you have the goodwill.
I have feelings.
Yeah. So
Feelings. Whoa.
if there's something that you want to leave us with, I know we're wrapping up right now, but if there's something that Mr. Murfreesboro wants to talk about, something that he wants to leave people when they think of Mr. Murfreesboro, what do you want them to know that we don't know about you?
Oh Lord. Let's see. I won second place in punt, pass, and kick when I was 11. I'm not an athlete. The only
Yeah.
way I could get to start was when my dad would sponsor teams like basketball. And I still was a sixth man. I was like, Dad, I'm your son. But, you know, with all the discord going on, seriously,
Yeah.
if we all could agree to disagree agreeably
Yeah.
and respect one another.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to agree on everything.
Yeah.
We're not. I know there's something. God is up here, and men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Self-knowledge is not enough.
Yeah.
You got to have a belief in something greater than yourself.
Absolutely.
Mine's Jesus, but
Yeah.
you know, I try to think, what would he do?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I fell miserably at it.
Absolutely.
Fell miserably, and I want to thank you for having me. Maybe I can be the conduit.
Yeah. To future guests or even shining the light.
Yeah, we are a beacon of light to others.
Yeah.
Sometimes that person, that stranger, you may be the only
Yeah.
light they see that day.
Bill, there's something that we do when we wrap up the show. We ask you for things that you're grateful for, and we want to give you this time now to tell us the four things.
Well,
you're
I'm grateful for Jesus, my family, including my son, sobriety. Put sobriety over family because without my recovery,
So you want to.
I'll lose
yeah.
everything.
Yes.
So, the Lord, recovery, family, and friends.
Yes.
So, that's it, man.
Is there, and then this is the last part, how we wrap up. Is there one organization or a person or anything that you want to shout out right now to kind of, for us to go ahead and check out and support?
Well, I sit on the board for the Rutherford County Recovery Court Foundation. People don't realize that if somebody's sober, taxpayers don't have to spend as much money.
Yeah.
When somebody's in an active addiction, whether it's alcohol, drugs, or whatever, and they have to go to jail, we got to pay for them, right?
Yeah.
I wish they had this when I was out there, but the recovery court that I sit on the board for, it's a great organization. The fact that we try to guide people instead of going to jail. Hey, let's get you a job. Let's get a job and get some self-recognition, get some self-esteem. Mm-hmm. You're not that bad person. You're a child of God. And let's start acting like it. I mean, and get you some responsibilities, but we try to help out, whether that's with rent, trying to get that person, addict, alcoholic, who is in society to be a productive part of society that they once probably weren't. And most of them have children. They've been working part of society, and something's got a hold of them. And so the Rutherford County Recovery Court Foundation is very important to me because it deals with the recovery and giving people a second chance. Not everybody gets sober at once. There's a process.
Yeah.
But again, people look at addicts and alcoholics, hey, you're a bunch of idiots. But the fact is, in my days, again, I'm the nicest guy, but if you gave me a thimbleful of alcohol, then I'm not the same person.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to go back to that.
Absolutely.
And another thing is that read to succeed is another thing that's dear to my heart. Read to succeed, teaching people how to read.
Yeah.
So Jolene Randotti and then my partner Meredith Thomas, they're good with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
Well,
that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I'd love to come back sometime and
yeah.
do a
No.
part two.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to thank you, Mr. Murfreesboro, aka Bill Wilson. Thank you for coming by. You're so interesting. You have so many stories. You enlighten so many people, especially with your being sober now and giving other people motivation to do so, and they could probably make something of themselves if they believe in themselves, just like how you did.
Thank you, brother.
And so thank you again for your time to be on the show. So this is Open Book with Harry Pacheco, and we're out. Thank you for listening to another episode of Open Book with Harry Pacheco. Be sure to like, share, follow, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. We'll see you on the next one.